Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of the Moreno Show. I am feeling good today, and I hope you are too. Guys, RFK Jr. just came out with this video this morning, and this is wild. Guys, this has to be the craziest thing that RFK Jr. has done thus far of his time being Secretary of HHS. Now, this is absolutely necessary. We knew this was going to happen. I don't know if I knew it was going to happen this fast, but this is critical. And I also, personally, I love that they're really not wasting any time. And I love that RFK Jr. is so pressed on his goal to make America healthy again, that he's not just relaxing in an office. No. He is actually pressing his agency to do the deep and profound work in order to reduce the fat, to increase efficiency, and to help people, right? So check this out. He wrote this today saying, "We are streamlining HHS to make our agency more efficient and more effective. We will eliminate an entire alphabet soup of departments while preserving their core functions by merging them into a new organization called the Administration for a Healthy America," or AHA, which I think is great. "This overhaul will improve the health of the entire nation to make America healthy again." So this is a 6-minute video, but RFK Jr. is such a good talker that's actually going to go by like that. So let's go ahead and hunker down. Also, if you like having conversations like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. So we're going to play the video, and then we're going to go into some very critical perspectives and talk about it some more there. So check this out.
Hey, everybody. I'd like to share with you a paradox that I've encountered here in Washington, D.C. as the new Secretary of HHS. Our department is filled for the most part with competent, conscientious public servants, and yet the agency has been inefficient as a whole. Over the past 4 years during the Biden administration, HHS's budget increased by 38%, and its staffing increased by 17%, but all that money has failed to improve the health of Americans. In fact, the rate of chronic disease and cancer increased dramatically as our department has grown. Our lifespan has dropped, so Americans now live 6 years shorter than Europeans. We are the sickest nation in the world, and we have the highest rate of chronic disease. The U.S. ranks last among 40 developed nations in terms of health, but we spend 2 to 3 times more per capita than those nations. As secretary, I now understand why all this money is not improving our health. HHS is a sprawling bureaucracy that encompasses literally hundreds of departments, committees, and other offices. You know how bureaucracies work. Every time a new issue arises, they tack on another committee. This leads to tremendous waste and duplication, and worst of all, a loss of any unified sense of mission. The resulting pandemonium has injured American health and damaged department morale. When I arrived, I found that over half of our employees don't even come to work. HHS has more than 100 communications offices and more than 40 IT departments and dozens of procurement offices and 9 HR departments. In many cases, they don't even talk to each other. They're mainly operating in silos. Sometimes these sub-agencies work at cross purposes with each other. Some of these little fiefdoms, for example, are so insulated and territorial that they actually hoard our patient medical data and sell it for profit to each other. Instead of remedying the chronic disease crisis, perverse incentives have administrators checking boxes and grading their own homework while public health declines. A few isolated divisions are neglecting public health altogether and seem only accountable to the industries that they're supposed to be regulating. In one case, defiant bureaucrats impeded the secretary's office from accessing the closely guarded databases that might reveal the dangers of certain drugs and medical interventions. I have some good news, though. As part of President Trump's DOGE workforce reduction initiative, we're going to streamline HHS to make our agency more efficient and more effective. We're going to imbue the agency with a clear sense of mission to radically improve the health of Americans and to improve agency morale. We're going to eliminate an entire alphabet soup of departments and agencies while preserving their core functions by merging them into a new organization called the Administration for a Healthy America, or AHA. We have 2 goals. The first is obvious: to save the taxpayer money by making our department more efficient. And the second is to radically improve our quality of service. I want to promise you now that we're going to do more with less. No American is going to be left behind. Our key services delivered through Medicare and Medicaid, the FDA and CDC, and other agencies will enter a new era of responsiveness and a new era of effectiveness. We're going to consolidate all of these departments and make them accountable to you, the American taxpayer, and the American patient. These goals will honor the aspirations of the vast majority of existing HHS employees who actually yearn to make America healthy. 28 great divisions will become 15. The entire federal workforce is downsizing now, so this will be a painful period for HHS as we downsize from 82,000 full-time employees to around 62,000. We're keenly focused on paring away excess administrators while increasing the number of scientists and frontline health providers so that we can do a better job for the American people. We're going to streamline our agency and eliminate the redundancies and invite everyone to align behind a simple, bold mission. I want every HHS employee to wake up every morning asking themselves, what can I do to restore American health today? I want to empower everyone in the HHS family to have a sense of purpose and pride and a sense of personal agency and responsibility to this larger goal. We're going to save taxpayers nearly $2 billion a year, and we're going to return HHS to its original commitment to public health and gold standard science. I want this agency to be once again a revered scientific institution that once made HHS the envy of the world. I want everyone who works here to be proud of this agency, to be proud of their work, to feel a renewed inspiration and their own sense of responsibility for our success in restoring America to good health. Streamlining HHS is part of a shift to new priorities, especially ending the chronic disease epidemic with clean water, safe food, effective medicine, good science, radical transparency, and a healthy environment. I think most Americans would agree with me that throwing more money at healthcare isn't going to solve the problem, or it would have solved it already. Obviously, what we've been doing hasn't worked. That's why we're making this dramatic overhaul. But the real overhaul is even bigger. The real overhaul is improving the health of the entire nation to make America healthy again.
Come on. There we go. Wow. There's a lot of like tidbits that I caught throughout watching this that I just like really liked that I want to reiterate right now. For one, like I love that he overemphasized that he wants to give every single HHS worker a clear sense of almost identity, a clear sense of mission. Because you know what I love? Like, I don't know if you remember, but like last year, I wore a lot of like over the last year, I wore like a ton of Patagonia. I love Patagonia. I love their shirts. I love their sweaters. If you see me out, you'll probably see me wearing a Patagonia jacket. They're my favorite, honestly. But part of the reason I like it isn't because they're just good quality, but I love that whenever you buy it on the tag, it says that they don't say that they're in the business of making good clothes. On the tag, you know what it says? We're in the business of saving our home planet. And I heard this a while ago. This is by Simon Sinek. He says that it's not about what you do, it's about why you do it. Because the why matters so much, the purpose matters so much. Like RFK Jr.'s purpose with HHS, his goal is to make America healthy again. And almost like there doesn't need to be a what if there is a clear why, because the what figures itself out. So I love that he wants to emphasize this drive, this force of purpose. I think that matters so much. And I also love that he made a very clear promise. He said that I promise you that the HHS is going to do more with less. That's a crazy promise, right? But for me, I feel like RFK Jr. is incredibly calculated and he just has so much confidence in what they are doing that I just think it's incredibly trustworthy. So I find a lot of confidence in those words personally. And I agree with him at the end where he says that like throwing money isn't the answer. It's not. We've tried at throwing money, but it by every clear indication, it hasn't actually resulted in in a healthier country. It hasn't resulted in healthier children or healthy adults. But at the end, he clearly says that, look at this, the real overhaul is improving the health of the entire nation to make America healthy again. And then you see that clear gold star or that North Star. And I like it. But you know what? This isn't without any criticism, right? Because I think a lot of people are going to say, like, making America healthy again is like cutting jobs, which help protect American lives. And this person called them a disgrace, right? And I think this is the type of person who, like, really, like, they read the headline, but they don't actually watch the video. And I love that Adam Batson immediately says, "So you didn't watch the video, right?" That's exactly what happens. But this is incredibly popular. It has over 2,000 likes, 26,000 views, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about this as well because, like, this does have a cost that is incredibly real. Like, people who've probably worked at HHS for a really long time, possibly decades, they're they're something unfortunate is on its way, and I think it's terrible. But I do love that Callie Means shares this graph saying Secretary Kennedy cuts at HHS send a very clear message: less power to administrators and more power to scientists and doctors. And look at this crazy graph here: growth in physicians and administrators. Do you see this? This is astonishing. Look at how many administrators work in, look at this. The source is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, NCHS. So I'm assuming this is a graph that reflects the HHS workforce. I could be wrong. You let me know. I was trying to find the source of where this graph came from. I couldn't, but right now I'm just trusting Callie Beats here. But this is crazy. Look at this tiny little line at the bottom. This is for physicians. This is how many physicians presumably work at HHS, and it is so tiny, almost non-existent compared to administrators. So if this does anything, it gives more power to scientists and doctors. And I think that is good. Check out. We also have this from Speaker Mike Johnson. He says HHS is one of the most bureaucratic and bloated government agencies. Secretary Kennedy is bringing new, much needed ideas to the department by returning HHS to its core mission while maintaining the critical programs it provides Americans. So good. I love it. But I also love this take from End Tribalism. I think this is really the human aspect of this whole conversation. His first three sentences are really hit home. He describes that RFK Jr. He described what RFK Jr. announced, but then he says, "I believe it's the right move and I support it, but I won't celebrate it. True leadership often requires tough decisions that shouldn't be taken lightly. These are 20,000 Americans, many with families, and some people are you or your friends and family you may know." This is crazy, but it's so good, and I love that at the end he says, "Sometimes to get all the meat, you have to cut off a little bone." As these necessary cutouts or as these necessary cuts roll out across government, I just ask, stay empathetic. I completely agree, and I've done that. I've tried to reiterate that message so many times across this channel, and some people might think that I'm kind of going against the Doge here, and like, no, I support Doge, but it doesn't mean that it's not heartbreaking to see so many people who are now like out of a job because they're just like, these are probably good people, but unfortunately, it doesn't mean that they are free the from the system that is waste and corruption and inherently flawed. So I I really do agree with tribalism here. It's the right move, but we got to be careful not to overly celebrate. At least not without knowing that there is a cost here that is very real. Anyways, that is the whole video. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Also, guys, I'd love for you to check out the newsletter. I came out with this article a couple days ago saying why young people are turning their backs on the Democratic Party. And I just go ahead and share my perspective as a young gun, even though I'm not that young anymore. But yeah, go ahead and check it out. Sign up for the newsletter. I really enjoy it. I love having those conversations over there. It's really the same thing, except I go ahead and send it to you via email. And it's also a great way for you to support me if that's something that is interesting to you, if you like sharing these conversations and elevating them. Anyways, that is the video. So I hope it found you well. Let me know what you think about it. Tell me your perspective. Agree with me, disagree with me. Let me know in the comment section. And I will be sure to see you all next time. Hope you have a great, wonderful day. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.